because it's close enough. Like, if it was like a Sirenscape for like a big channel, it'd probably be okay because they have a little bit of leeway to like get what they want. For somebody who's not even an affiliate, no. But we are starting. Thank you for joining. You turn this down for a second, fucking loud alien. So, as we have stated already, we are going back in time in the Star Wars universe. This is some 3,000 years before the movies even began. Actually, closer to 4,000 years. And the universe has been embattled and embroiled in a war between the newly arisen and refound empire and the Republic. And this war has already been going on for nearly 20 years. And through those 20 years, there have been planets won, planets lost, planets annihilated. And the entire galaxy seems like it is being slowly eaten up by one faction or another. And above all, there is one resource that everybody wants, and that is Rhydonium. It is the cornerstone to making starship fuel. And it's a very rare resource in the galaxy, at least, in any great magnitude. Recently, the planet Abathar has been discovered to have massive deposits of rhydonium. And mining operations were quickly underway. However, this is far enough in the Outer Rim that neither Empire nor Republic has really claimed the space around it firmly. Thus, Abathar has been overrun by cartels and gangs that are eager to capitalize on the rhydonium mining to sell it off to whoever the highest bidder is. And this is where our odd little group comes in to play. The Republic is eager to secure at least one of the mines, if not as many of the mines on the planet as they can, before they make a move to capture the planet. So they send a representative to secure a deal with the existing powers on Abathar to try and make a pipeline from Abathar to Republic space. And that is where Iphigenia, is that how we're saying it?
Yeah, that's how we're saying it.
Okay. That's where Iphigenia comes in. I swear to God, it's gonna be iffy after this session because
Because you're kind of iffy on it?
it's too much for my southern ass. I'm trying very hard not to give it too much twang because it doesn't need twang. Iphigenia has been sent in to secure these deals. However, the trip in was not the easiest. On your way into Abathar, this is not thoroughly mapped out space and not thoroughly controlled space. You all were surprised by some asteroids and space debris that were not placed on any astrogation chart. And it has damaged your ship. You managed to land in one of the mining towns that you were planning on going to anyway. And you got there in one piece. However, your ship, you're all pretty sure, is not going to take off without some serious repairs. This particular town is built up and primarily controlled by a up-and-coming Hutt. His name is Timo. And he has not got the best reputation among the Hutts, but he sees Abathar as his way into power. However, this town has gotten large enough and the mining operation has expanded enough that he has some competition in the Haxian Brood, which is another cartel specializing usually in smuggling and primarily made up of droids and cyborgs that are eager to try and take over this town and the mining operation. Both have sent interest to the group of trying to make deals. However, you know that if they have reached out with their willingness to make deals with the Republic, they have most certainly also reached out to make deals with the Empire. And they'll just go with whoever gives them the best deal. So, that is where we are starting. You all have landed safely, trying to ignore some of the place names and stuff on this, because again, we are doing a heavily modified version of a beginner game. But you all have landed, you all have parked your ship in Landing Bay Besh over here. And you all have free roam of the town. What would you like to do?
Hey boss, how you doing after that crash? You doing okay?
Oh my god.
Holy shit.
You know, I've been better, but I've been worse. How are
Alright,
things over
that's
there with
good.
you?
I'm doing good over here, boss. Let's say we get us a place to settle down for a time and make sure to check up on you. Alright?
That sounds good. You got no cracks in that chassis, right? You know how
Oh
much I
no,
paid for that chassis.
nah, boss, I'm good.
As you two have jumped in first, why don't you describe your characters?
Sure.
You go first, boss. It's all about you.
All right. As the girl boss, I'll go first.
Oh my god.
So, Iphigenia is extremely tall for most, near human lady races. She's like 6'2", 6'3". She's got very long, carefully styled, wavy brown hair, greenish eyes, and she dresses very well for someone who sounds like that. um, so she's in a white gown. Usually she dresses in either white or green. She's got plenty of jewelry as well, including a signet ring to mark her station as the, heiress to House Fell. She has kind of a beakish nose, and yeah, those are probably the most distinctive features, I'd say.
Alright, perfect. And next to her is... I put in a picture just to help aid with the visuals. This is Galatea, number Quattro, whatever else I put. Sleek white and black frame. Human-esque appearance chassis. Looks like made out of pretty luxurious stuff. Some real top of the line stuff. Not pictured is, however, the mechanical fedora that is on top of her head, and the untied tie around her neck that just looks like it's meant to be there. That's
Oh my
Galatea.
God.
Oh my god.
I love it. I
I
love it.
thought I was gonna be a gremlin.
Oh,
This is incredible. I love it.
I hate all
Um,
of you already.
So to go alongside these two lovely ladies, from behind, I guess, as we're all kind of exiting the ship and shuffling off, you hear, hold on, sorry, I had to get my gear, and you see a Mirialan man coming in, clipping a brown cloak over his shoulder. And he is about 6 feet even, athletic, fit build. He has a belt with like a leather brown belt with a blue shirt, He has very few tattoos for a adult Mary Allen at this point. With black hair that's medium length, not quite at the shoulders, and he's wearing a black, like a set of black leather gloves and boots with heavy working pants, and he's awkwardly chasing up after Boss and Droid.
Galatea, I ain't your droid.
Galatea?
No, you're my droid. You're Galatea. How many times I gotta tell ya? Come on. You sure the crash didn't knock nothing out?
Corrected with your fuzzbag about what to do.
Fuzzbag? Did you call me a fuzzbag? Is it me?
You see another fuzzbag around here?
I don't think I do.
All right, well there we go. Now let's go.
Okay. You're just awkwardly following along.
Jen?
To follow along this circus show, you just see a on the shorter end, woman who's she's wearing like kind of like a long dark coat, and has her horn tail things
Okay, so
are
this
white and
is.
black.
I'll pause you for a minute because that's
Yep. Yep. There's a name for it. Can't think of it.
Montrals and Leiku.
Montrals.
Montrals are your horns.
Mhm.
Leiku are the bits that dangle down.
Okay.
Your brain is in your Leiku. Your Montrals are hollow and you have echolocation. Okay, there you go.
Holy shit.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, Tigreer are my favorite, so I have to.
No, thank you, because I would always fucking forget. Yeah. Anyway, they're white and black, kind of black striped, and she's kind of got reddish skin tone, and light gray eyes, and yeah, kind of just wearing, underneath her coat, just kind of like coveralls, and has like a bunch of like satchels. I don't know. Yeah, she's not a circus. Yeah.
I now have something that I need to find and share. Because
Okay.
that's me being uber nerd that I am.
That's totally fine. I also will admit that whatever I thought of for her went out of my brain, and then you were like, I need a token, and I'm like, fuck. So this is the token that I picked. It's generally gonna be okay. She's just, yeah, it works.
I had to
Right
share it
colors.
into the lore tab so that it's there.
Awesome.
Wild.
Jen, what's your character's name?
Oh, balls. Raisha Zare.
What? Sorry?
Raisha Zare. Just call her Raisha.
There's Doc. It's my favorite Doc right there. I was out of it. Boom. Out of big. Got me right back up.
And then I'll upload what I have for Indian's character. Great. That's you.
Yep, I'll be your pilot. My name is Marcy. And if I could, I might be able to fix this, but I don't have any tools.
Well, don't you worry about that. We'll find you tools. We'll find you tools. I'm not letting my people work without tools.
Okay. Oh, something I've noticed, Z, is that when I click on the dice icons next to the skills, they don't really do anything. Oh, I lied. Anyway, I wanted to do a mechanics check to assess what the damage is and what is needed for repairs.
Okay. So we'll do that in just a moment. We have some shopkeeping stuff that has to happen at the start of every session. So,
Okay.
me. Where is my DM sheet? There we go. So, everybody at the top of your character sheet, you see that dice pool section, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, so at the start of every session, we roll our destiny pool, which is a force die. It's that white die in the middle. Everybody can type just one into that force pool, and then hit the roll button underneath it.
Oh, the die pool. Okay.
Well, I clicked roll.
Oh man. This is a roller coaster.
One. I see two. I see another one.
I don't think Marcy yours rolled.
Yeah. Make sure you have one typed into the beside the white die, and then hit it. I, I know this sheet is complicated and annoying, but once you figure out the little shortcuts, it gets easier. Mbian, can you try to roll one more time?
Oh. Oh. I'm sorry. I thought I did.
Yeah, make sure that there's a 1 beside that white dice, and then roll.
I did. Oh, but it didn't do anything. Okay, I had to reopen my character sheet. One moment. So under dice pool, I have a 1.
Mhm.
Was there somewhere else I needed to put it?
No, just hit the D20
Okay.
underneath it. There we go.
Let's see what happens now.
Hey.
Okay.
Just barely
So
on the good side.
then everybody should be able to click sync with DM or something like that under the destiny pool. And you will see your destiny pool, which is 4 light side and 2 dark side right now. This essentially functions like group inspiration. It has 2 sides to it. The light side points are the ones that you guys get to use. The dark side points are the ones I get to use. If you use a light side point, it turns into a dark side point. If I use a dark side point, it turns into a light side point. So it's a back and forth. You can use this to re-roll certain things. You can use this to kind of be like, oh yeah, I actually did bring this with me, so that you have a tool that you didn't say that you had, but you can, within reason, say it. All of
Okay.
those type of things, there's a lot of ways. If you're confused, you can just say, hey, can I do this with a light side point? And I'll say yes or no, or tweak it. And you can decide to use it or not use it. Because again, you use it, I get more. I use mine, you guys get more. Okay? Does that make sense?
hmm
And that
Hell
is
yeah.
redone at the beginning of every session. And you have to, like I said, be aware that you're giving me more power when you use it, but you also, as it is a group thing, you might be denying somebody else the chance to use one in the future. So at times you might want to discuss, and you're allowed to do that, okay? Alright, so that is the start. Now, Marcy wanted to do a mechanics roll, correct?
Uh-huh.
So, go ahead and clear out your dice pool at the top so everything is 0.
Okay.
For this game, you're not rolling straight d20s and stuff like that. You're rolling all of the things that give you advantage and make you likely to succeed, and everything that is likely to make you not succeed at the same time. So, generally, if you're trying to do a skill check, unless it's in certain situations, you are going to have to let me know what you want, and I'll tell you how many of the bad dice you have to roll alongside your good die.
Okay.
Ira, you might judge me for this. I say everything by colors because I am dumb like that.
That's perfectly fine. Honestly, that's how I do it too. Like we used to have a Genesis game going at the same time, which is the same damn system for those of you who don't know. But with different dice symbols, and I would just still use the Star Wars symbol.
Yeah, so if you look up at your dice pool, everybody, you see all of the different colors at the top. Green,
Hell yeah.
yellow, and blue are good die. Green and yellow are what you might already have. Blue is extra stuff that might give you advantage. So that's like if you want to help somebody do something, you can give them more blue die. If they're in a situation that might be advantageous for them, they might get a blue die. If you have a talent, quite often talents will affect blue die or black die more than anything else. On the
Well,
opposite side, the purple and the red are the bad equivalent of your green and yellow. Okay? The purple are usually, like, that's the difficulty of what you're doing. Red die are generally rare. I'll throw red die at you a little bit more once you guys are more accustomed to the system, as red die can lead to very bad things. And black die are situational disadvantage. So, say you're trying to make this mechanics check, but you're in the middle of a, like, sandstorm. Then you might have some black die added on top of it because you're having a hard time seeing and getting to where you need to be. All that type of stuff. So, whenever you're trying to make a skill check, and you know it's a skill check that you might have a talent in, go read your talents to double check whether or not you have something that'll give you a boost, or will make it easier if you have bad things happening. Okay, does that all kind of make sense?
yeah.
Okay, so you are nice and safe in a landing bay. So you don't really have any black die that would be applied. However, you do have to make sure that you're aware of this ship and kind of familiar with this ship to be able to know exactly what's going on with it. So, bump that purple die up to 2. So it says 2 beside it. And then you can go down and hit the roll beside your mechanics. And that should roll all of your good plus 2 purple.
It seems like I need to type 2P. Is that correct?
If you want to type it in beside, so there's 2 ways that you can do this. And this is where this sheet gets a little bit confusing.
Uh-huh.
You can either choose to type everything in beside the skill, or you can choose not to type anything in, adjust things at the top in your dice pool, and that will automatically apply it to whatever you roll underneath. You just have to remember to continue to clear out that dice pool.
Oh, the very top line. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so let's see. Where's the purple one? Okay, it's the triangle.
Mm-hmm.
So 1, 2, you said?
Yep.
All
And
right.
then scroll down to the mechanics. Make sure you don't have anything else typed in there, and just hit the roll button at mechanics.
All right. Cool. Hey, look at that.
And so then, when you're rolling things, we subtract different things. So if you look at all those symbols, you had 2 failures off of those purple die. And it subtracted 2, actually those are 2
Those
threats.
threat.
Yeah. Sorry. I can't see tonight. So those are the 2 threats. They negate the advantages, which are those kind of like winged looking things that you see on his good die. So that leaves him with 4 successes. So he succeeded in what he was trying to do. Okay? That's the general way that things function. And I have set up this particular Roll20 so it gives you suggestions. So if it's a moment where you want to narrate what happens, you kind of know what you can narrate, kind of where your parameters are. Okay? Because some of it is, I'll tell you things. Other times it's, you tell me how you succeed or how you do something. Okay?
Okay.
Right. Any questions or confusion thus far from anyone?
Nope.
Thank you for putting the suggestions in. That's very helpful.
I love the suggestions because I forget that shit sometimes.
There's so many uses for specific skills, but it's very helpful.
I will say this is a very janky API script, so not everything has suggestions that work. But it is like a solid 75% there. So, you do a mechanics check, and you kind of look over this ship. And, oh, I forgot to share the ship with y'all. I can do that. Let me go grab it really fast. But if you look in the Discord, at the moment, this is what you all flew in on.
Love
Because
having the
we had the fancy lady, so we had to have the space yacht. Now, when you're looking at that, you're kind of Marcy's going over her system checks and trying to figure out exactly what's wrong. You see that there's a little bit of hull damage. So it's looking a little bit rough. However, there's only one spot that's really concerning on the hull. The rest of it, you can probably just, like, a little bit of spit and duct tape will patch it together. You do see that there is a missing piece that has kind of been knocked out of your engine room. However, the engine room was damaged pretty severely in the rough landing, and it looks like a piece of the let me get my actual Starship reference, because I have too many reference materials here.
Oh, this is sick. Feels like well, I was gonna say it feels like I'm playing FTL, except we're not in the ship flying, we're on the ground. But sick!
So there is a piece called the hypermatter reactor that is essential for you to be able to do any type of hyperspace jump. That has been knocked loose, and in its falling to the floor in the shaking landing has just shattered. And you will need a replacement for it to be able to do any type of jump.
All right.
And then the last thing you see, one of the gun turrets is questionable. It might fire, it might not fire, it looks like it needs some help, but you also don't want to test it because you are inside a landing bay.
All right. Well, I'll report that we need a hypermatter reactor, and that one of the what was it called?
Oh,
What
one
was
of
the
your turrets is kind of messy,
turret? Oh,
and then maybe a piece of metal to slap over a hole.
okay.
Right. So as you're telling me we can't leave this place till we bargain for these things, right?
Oh, we definitely need that part.
I don't like being put at a disadvantage like this. Does change our plans a little bit.
Well, we can do some looking and figure out where best to find this part. Guess ask around.
You know, that's a good idea. Do you know how rare this part is? What are we talking about here? A dime a dozen? Is this a special job?
Darcy would know that it is any ship of that has the ability to jump would have one of these. However, finding the right size would be the issue. Because there's very tiny in smaller ships, it's much larger in larger ships. So you can find them, but whether or not they're going to be the ones you need is the question.
How common are ships our size then?
Whoever wants to can make an outer rim check, I believe. Grab your sheet so that I can remember what the knowledge skills are. I
Could
always
we?
forget. Yeah, outer
could
rim
we-
check for 2 purple added on top of it.
Anyone good at outer rim? Oh,
Hell yeah! Look at all that advantage.
Still gotta add the purple though.
Oh,
Oh, you know what? I now know what the problem is, and this affected me last time. I type in the number, but then I don't tab away.
Yeah. I think I remember the last group I played with had the same issue. Always type in the number and then click outside of it so that it accepts
Yeah.
it.
You want me to roll again or what?
You can just roll 2 purple if you want.
That I don't know.
You just put the 2 into the dice pool and just roll it from the top.
Okay, 1, 2, and then click on the d20. Did that work? No. Shit. Do I need to have 1 in the dice pool for that to work?
Shit. Grab your sheet.
Yeah, thank you.
I will apologize for the sheet over and over and over again. But I also like it. So you got the blank ones. So you got all the advantages.
Oh, now it worked for me.
Oh, so that
Weird.
encounter- So you actually fail. So that's what those triangles mean.
Okay.
The threat cancels out one of your advantages, so you end up with a pool of 2 failures and 3 advantages. So, fuck, what was the question?
Outer rims. How common or rare is it?
I've got outer rim too, so I can also roll after we resolve this if you'd like.
Sure, if you want to. Anybody that wants to can.
I am not a knowledgeable person.
Yeah, as far as knowledge checks, I usually just say whoever wants to, just fucking go. You also fail.
Alright,
This is my ship. I don't know shit about it.
I got a 3. I'm gonna take care of it. You think? I'm gonna roll.
Gotta use that big brain of yours.
Gotta get the purple, though.
That's a... Do I do that beforehand, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna add
You
2.
essentially have to build your dice pool before you click any type of roll.
Wow.
You fail as well.
okay. I'll
You know what?
I'll fucking try. I guess.
If everyone, if you fail, then Kane will try.
Oh, as you're telling me, we all spent the last week on this ship, and ain't nobody know a crippin' thing about it.
All right.
So all of you just kind of stand around for a second, racking your brains, trying to figure out what size reactor you need. And how, like, just you see, like, the floating fucking math symbols over your head trying to figure out.
Aha!
And finally, Risha, you kind of look around, and there's a little bit of this, like, you've wandered in the lower parts of society. You're kind of familiar with towns like this. And you kind of look around, and you're like, this is not a hot spot. This is people just trying to get by, people here to work, and they're not really traveling back and forth. So, you know that there might be one or two around, possibly either from downed ships in the area, probably in attachment to ships that are being used by the powers that be in the area. But the size that you need to fit your space yacht is not normal for a mining town.
God damn it.
So you may get lucky, but it's not just like going to the store and it's going to immediately be on the shelf.
That's fair. Well,
Ain't
actually,
that just piss in our green milk?
What?
Well,
Um,
you never had green milk?
Well, I've never pissed in it. What would happen if we don't end up finding this piece? Would we be
What?
trapped here until we got one?
This will be our new home.
This?
or we sell the ship for parts and get a new ship that has a working one.
Transport.
You kidding me?
Oh.
Sell this ship? Sell this ship? You seen the ships around here? No, I'm not riding around in a peasant ship. We're fixing this one.
I'm just saying the options. I didn't say we should. I'm just. If we don't find the part, then we can't leave this planet. with
Let's
that
see if
ship.
we can find the part first before we start jumping to the conclusion that we're going to be trapped here forever.
All
Lest
right,
we
well-
sell the ship.
Yeah, can you hear me? Because I think my headset cut out.
Yeah, we can hear you now. And we can't hear you no more.
Well,
That was said.
Hyper!
Hello?
There we go.
There we go.
Well, my creators always said, you can't make an omelet without counting your chickens, okay? So first, we gotta go get this deal done. And then after that, then we can worry about this, alright? You gotta put our priorities where they gotta be.
You know what? I like gals thinking on this. And maybe, just maybe, this hut, or maybe these droids, will know where we can find one of these hyperdrive situations.
I suppose we don't have much else to do except wander around town now.
Well, we can't go straight to the meeting, right? We gotta project power. You never go straight to the meeting. You gotta make them wait for you. So I says, what we do is we hit the cantina, get our names out there, make everybody stare a little, make everybody wonder, who's that? Where are they from? Get those tongues wagging, and then we can go into this meeting.
Ah, my boss likes some style as usual. I love it. I'm gonna go out there and let's go cause some chaos. Yeah.
It's maybe just a little bit not too out there. Yeah. Don't want the wrong attention.
Stylish chaos.
I'm gonna unsling my gun and just hold it. Just not to use it, just I gotta project power, and I'm gonna tip my fedora even lower so that you almost can't see my eye scanners.
When you tip your hat lower, Kane just looks and just goes, "Can you even see now?"
Of course I can see. What, you think
No
I got
preview.
eyes?
How many fingers am I holding up? And I'm gonna hold 3 fingers above my head.
You got 3.
That was a lucky guess.
Her being able to see is real important. Come nightfall, I really need gal over here.
You got me, boss. You know you always got me.
Let's go to the cantina.
Sounds good.
So you
Sounds
guys
like a plan to me.
step out, and I'm assuming somebody asks about the cantina
Oh,
on the
yeah.
way out.
That'd be a clever thing to do.
Oi, you over there. Where can my boss, my fancy boss lady over here, get a little something to cool off, yeah? You dig?
As you shout out, actually, roll me a d20, Piper. Let me see your luck here.
Oh, you got it, boss. You got it.
You're gonna torture me with the fucking mob shit. I'm gonna start testing y'all's luck real early.
Damn it.
Oh, the unluck checks have returned to bite me in the ass.
So as you shout out, the only person that seems to be at the landing bay at this time is this worker droid that is just kind of moving shit from one place to another. And your very interesting way of stating, he just kind of turns his head and stares and then goes back to what he's doing. Not processing what you're saying.
Oh, a wise guy, huh? Gonna march over.
Oh dear God.
Don't go knocking any skulls yet. Don't go knocking no skulls. Remember, we're classy folks.
Oh, you got lucky. You got lucky. I pushed my fedora down even deeper.
How can you see? How can you see with your hat like that?
You
Hey,
think with your
White.
head like that?
What?
It ain't so fun when you start asking questions now, is it? Just walk up.
Excuse me. My good droid buddy. You know, do you know where I can get a drink around here?
The droid stops again and stares. And then you seems like he's computing. It's very old. It's very clearly several generations old, not super well maintained. But it finally seems to click and it straightens up slightly and of course there are 2 cantinas in the town. One near Timo's palace and one towards the mining slag works. And then he goes back to what he's doing.
You wouldn't happen to have any recommendations, would you, pal?
And there's another kind of awkwardly long pause as it seems to be processing. And it looks back. Timo's palace cantina is where his guards tend to go. The one near the slag works is where the workers frequent. And that's all he says.
Well, thank you, pal. I appreciate your time.
Feel a tap on your shoulder, and Kane kind of says in like a stage whisper, "I think we should go to the one by the slagworks and not stir up anything with this new hut yet."
What you thinking?
See, I'm thinking the opposite, boss lady. I think we show up around the palace. You know, like you said, get our words around.
Discretion is key when operating like this. We're not just a band of violent mercenaries. We're here to do work. We need to make sure that we present strong, but not brutish and foolish.
Looks like we got a split vote so far.
I think we need to get up in there. You know, show them that we're people of character, people of business, not some dirt rats out there. You think
You
I go
people of business would charge in from the front door with guns blazing. Do you think that's what people of business do?
Blazing.
You ain't done much business on Hapes, have you?
Trust me, I have done business in the underworld in my fair share, but I don't think that this is I think discretion is going to be key here. That's just my advice. I will defer to your judgment, though. I am not the leader, as it were.
Well, you're making a good amount of sense. Marcy, Risha, what are you guys feeling?
I don't know. I'm used to being able to just get parts when I need them.
And Jin is AFK for a moment.
Oh, my bad. Well, if it comes down to finding parts, I bet you the workers know something. Let's hit that joint up.
Are you the boss?
Let's go. We'll go head to that Slagworks Cantina. All dolled up.
So, the Slagsworks Cantina is almost clear across the town from where you are. So you start off at Landing Bay Besh, And you all start kind of wandering through the streets, heading in the general direction. The droid did kind of point out the general areas in a very, very rough map. In the landing bay. And I will say it is very much like a Tatooine town. It is set into a crater. The crater walls seem to protect it from some of the harsher elements. But in order to get out of the town, you have to either climb the walls or go up very specific, very narrow kind of canyon paths. And everything, even though you all know logically that most of these buildings have been put in place in the last 5-10 years, they already look like they have been there for fucking ever. And it's run down, not super well maintained. Up on the very top of the canyon, looking out over the town, you see a giant mansion that you all can figure is more than likely Timo's palace. It gleams brilliant bronze against the almost white desert around the canyon. And as the sun is beating down on it, it is almost blinding to look at from certain angles. And that seems to be where all of the money in the town is focused, because the buildings are run down. The handful of speeders that you see around are run down. Even the water towers and moisture collectors seem to be secondhand at best. On the opposite side of town, as you're moving, you see the second tallest structures, and they are the giant stacks for the slag works, which is where the rhydonium is being processed outside of the mines that are being dug into the side of the canyon wall. Eventually, you get to the cantina, and it's close to the slag works. Everything smells vaguely of essentially gasoline, like you've been standing outside in a gas station for a little too long. And the few people that are wandering around, some heading towards the slag works, some heading away, a few people stumbling out of the cantina, they are all sun-beaten in hardy, heavy-duty mining gear. There doesn't seem to be a lot in the way of fashion here. You are either wearing your work attire, which 90% of them are mining attire, or you are bundled up in whatever you happen to have. So there are random flashes of color. Somebody that has a shawl wrapped around them with holes eaten into it. But it's very... Fuck, I forget the word. You get the idea. And you all make your way into the cantina. Inside, as you walk through the entrance, the dust blows in behind you, and you can see the front part of the cantina has a good 3-4 inches of dust and sand that just is not being swept up. Behind the counter, you see a tall, kind of grizzled-looking Davronian, which is essentially the red devil-looking dudes, for those of you that are newer to Star Wars. And he is wiping down the counter, and he kind of looks at y'all and stares, and you kind of see this scowl on his face before he goes back to what he's doing, seeming to almost pointedly ignore you. And I can swap over the sound now. And there's a handful of people milling about at various tables. Most of them look like they are miners and workers. Some are sitting around playing sabacc. Some just kind of quietly chatting or enjoying their drinks. A few close to the stage at the opposite end of the cantina are watching a solo Twi'lek dancer who is putting on a show, not seeming super into it, but she's doing her job. And you do see at one table, looks like some people in some nicer kind of, you can't tell if it's pilot suits or some sort of light armor, enviro suits of some sort. It looked like they may have a little bit more station than everybody else, and all of the tables around them are kind of cleared out. Nobody's sitting near them, and they are pointedly ignoring everybody else in the cantina as they are enjoying their drinks and kind of talking in hushed whispers to each other.
Ah, right. Lovely mood.
You all can drag your tokens into or around the entrance if you would like.
You know, I think the other cantina would have had a much livelier attitude. You know, it's not too late.
There's nothing wrong with this one. They got gambling, they got dancing, they got music. It's a cantina.
You cantina if you're depressed.
Take
Let me hold on. For tokens, I can't drag mine off of my sheet. Should I send you the image?
You should be able to just click the name and drag.
Yeah, the name, not the token.
The name, not the token. Oh, there we go. Thank you. Sorry.
Your token looks like one of the characters from Mass Effect.
Oh my
Which
god.
one?
I forget her name. It's been so long.
Miranda?
Yes.
Oh, well, you know, Miranda. Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. I made this into Sims. I got really excited.
Like
So-
it's just like the small image, especially like you look at the general colors and shapes are there. I mean, she's not unique.
I can see it with the white, especially.
Yeah, that's really what it is.
Damn it, Jen, now I want to play Mass Effect. I just got over my last Mass Effect kick. Why did you say that?
I'm sorry. It's just it was right there. Okay.
Low-key, I honestly, if the Star Wars did not go over, I was gonna see if I could run a Mass Effect, because there's a Mass Effect system out there. And I got really excited.
Not surprised.
Oh, Mass Effect's so good. Okay, derailment over.
All right.
in
So
game.
I look around the cantina, then I look around at our crew. All right, folks. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna break up into groups. Gal, you're with me. Everybody else, you can break up as you like. Let's schmooze a bit. Let's see what's around in town. Let's see what we can find out about these huts. See if anybody's heard about any parks. And we'll meet back. Call it an hour.
Kane just shrugs and goes, "You're the boss."
Put your drinks on my tab.
Yellowtail leans in. If you say that, you might get yourself a little too posh. Did you hear?
Oh, I mean, you think they drink like that?
I take a look at Kane, look back at her. You know, I'm surprised this one's not drunk already.
Let's consider it an investment in our future
Yeah.
social bonds.
We're already talking shit.
Man, savage, just calling him out like that.
All right, Kane's going to the bar.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
He'll grab a seat, not too close to the bartender, and then he'll give a 2-finger wave.
Okay. The bartender kind of looks him over and takes his sweet time about coming over and kind of drops this like damp rag directly in front. What do you want?
Just give me something strong.
Okay. And you see him kind of look behind the bar and shuffle around and pulls out a unmarked bottle
Hell yeah.
of this reddish thick liquid. And he pours about 3 fingers worth into a glass and slides it over.
I'll catch it and say, Davornian poison, I presume? And I'll kick it back.
It burns unlike anything you have had before. And you can feel it in your nose, in your mouth, all the way down into your gut as it settles. It's not necessarily a pleasant sensation as it goes down, but you can tell that it is definitely, whatever it is, designed to be as effective as possible in as little as needed.
Oh, this could peel the paint off a cruiser.
And there's actually a moment where they see this very tiny smirk before it disappears again, and he scowls. Well, you have to get pretty creative around here if you want to make sure that you're getting the most for your money.
It's a strange mentality, but I suppose you're right. Does anyone else want to go and schmooze?
Not drinking anything here, apparently.
Essentially, you just drank a mining town Abathar moonshine, is what you just.
Oh
had.
yeah. I'm honestly shocked he didn't give me just like low grade fuel.
It burns
Yeah,
like
but-
it. You might wonder.
I think we put some chili peppers in that. I don't know, man. Or just toxic sludge. Who looks like the most interesting person, I guess, in this place?
It depends on what you mean by interesting. Most of the ones that are up by the tables are very clearly there to watch the dancing Twi'lek.
Oh,
Around here you see one game of sabacc happening between what looks like hired muscle of some sort, potentially, and a couple of workers. This table is full of people has 2 people at it that seem to be very interested in each other, and nothing else. There is another game of sabacc with what looks like potentially not credits being passed back and forth, but something else being bet. And then this table over here was the, they look like they have some sort of special suits on. You're not quite sure what they are, though. And they're the ones that are very clearly separated from everybody else.
so they're the most interesting, but do I feel confident enough going up to them?
You gotta just drink a little bit of liquid courage, and then you'll be confident enough.
I'm good. I don't think I need that. I will probably just fall over. I am a small person. Oh. I guess I'll look at Barcy and they seem the most interesting. Might know the most.
Why are there 2 Galateas?
Double the me, double the fun, Gabby.
This
I
is
don't
getting
know.
out of
I
hand. Now
just
there are 2 of
realized
them.
there's 2 of them. Like, no.
This is getting out of hand.
This it cannot be allowed.
I don't see the second one, so it might be just on your end.
It's gone now.
Where's the other me? Then
This
'cause
is
I
no
don't.
longer out of hand.
It is gone. I was not allowing 2 Galateas.
Where's the other me though?
The other one is down by the entrance,
Oh,
where the rest of the group was.
oh, I gotcha. Well, you told me to put your token down. You didn't say where.
I said by the entrance. I said very clearly by the entrance, Piper.
He did
Nah.
say that clearly by the entrance.
Nah.
Anyway, I guess I don't know. I'll look at Marcy if you want to join me, but otherwise I
Yeah.
want to approach the interesting people.
Yeah, I'll join you.
Okay, we're going up to this colorful duo with fancy tokens.
Yeah, they're tokens from the Blurred Con. It's a free token pack that I absolutely love. All of the artwork in the Blurred Con pack is so good.
Yeah, the art for that is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll maybe share like the full images later. I love them so much. I wish I had more uses for the other ones, but there's only specific ones that work. But as you wander over, there was a hushed conversation kind of going back and forth between these two. They both look like human or near human. Both seem to be female or at least non-binary presenting. And the hushed conversation immediately goes silent as you get closer. And one just kind of sits and takes a slow drink, kind of watching you over the edge of her cup. And the other sits back, leans back, and kind of, you see it tilt their head just slightly, like chin lifting into the air, in a not necessarily hostile motion, but definitely a "what are you doing?" look.
I assume they look. Do they look like they're from here? Really?
Well, Abafar is the planet of whoever just lands
Fair.
for things. So there's not like this is very clearly somebody from Abafar. They don't look like the rest of the miners that you have seen.
Okay. I'll just approach and say, I hope I'm not interrupting anything important. We're looking for, just trying to learn this town a bit more and, maybe find some more specialized items.
One that was leaning back and watching you kind of blinks slowly. Specialized. What exactly does that mean?
Well, just we need a rather specific part for a rather specific ship that I don't know. Didn't think some of the local miners would know too much about that. If you had any ideas of, people who.
Well, as you mentioned the ship, the one that has kind of been hiding behind her cup, puts it down, and she looks mildly more friendly than her companion. And she kind of leans forward, and Marcy, you would recognize what she is wearing as kind of a specialized enviro suit for speeders, particularly racing speeders.
All right. I'll try to point that out in a way that's affirming. It's like, oh, You're a racer.
And she kind of looks over at you and kind of arches a brow. And there's a kind of a ghost of a smile before she shrugs. I've been known to race on occasion.
What kind of racer do you use?
And she looks at her companion, and there's very clearly this like exchange of I get to talk machines, and the other one kind of like, oh my fucking god, what have you done? And before you're able to backtrack or say anything else, really, she starts kind of like listing off a couple of different speeders and like talking about, well, I've driven this one and it's good, but I crashed it and took this part from that one and moved it to this one, so it's not really this one anymore. It's this one with the first one's engine, and just kind of essentially walks you through the building of a mishmashed speeder that in your head probably shouldn't work. It probably should explode. But she's very insistent that it works and it's better than any of the others.
And I'll geek out with her about this, and it's like, oh, that sounds amazing, but I'm having trouble imagining how that would work. What do you do to have it not fall apart with this blah 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 weakness that would occur?
And she starts to respond, and the other one that's been silent this entire time, just kind of watching, very much like, I don't want to hear this bullshit again, puts down their glass with a pretty audible clink on the metal table. And the racer kind of gives a little smile and shrug and says, we got our ways.
And I start proposing some theories, like, are you doing this? Are you doing that?
Jesus Christ.
She hums along at first and then starts getting back into the techie talk of agreeing how it could work, but pretty much everything that you're saying, she's saying that that's not what I'm doing. That's not what I'm doing.
Like,
You roll me planetary piloting with 2 purple.
okay, all right, okay. 1, 2,
Click out.
tab, and planetary.
Ooh, there we go.
Looks good. I think that's good.
Yep. You rolled well enough because you got a success and an advantage. You're pretty sure that there is some component that she is not talking about that is on this speeder that may not even be speeder.
Well, would it be a foul paw to say it out loud, or should I geek out with her about that?
That's up to you.
I'll try. Oh, wait a minute. What about this? What about that part? Did you make it work with a speeder?
She kind of freezes for a moment, and you see her eyes dart over to her companion. And her companion just kind of like rubs the bridge of their nose.
And I'll just say, oh, that's crazy. That wouldn't work. Never mind.
So essentially what you ended up coming across is she's using a starship part.
Okay.
on her speeder.
Oh, the one we're looking for by chance?
No, not that
No.
part, but
Okay.
the starship part that, number one, should not be going on a speeder, and number two is, again, kind of feels a little bit off for a little tiny mining town to have access to, let alone a random speeder racer that
Okay.
is mishmashing a bike together, more or less.
All right. Well, I'm trying to get her comfortable enough to share knowledge with me. I don't know if I'm there yet.
She seems to like you, but it seems like the other one that's been silent is putting a damper on her willingness to say much specific.
Okay.
I'll chime in at some point in time and say those parts are honestly. I'm impressed how you've been able to manage all them. Who's your? I assume you have a good supplier. Honestly, it's just surprising out here. And to be honest, we're kind of in a bit of a pinch. So if you know anyone trustworthy that can get hard parts,
That actually kind of causes the one that's been quiet to like kind of snort. There's no one trustworthy in this town.
I was speaking relatively. Um, no one. I understand.
So, I want you to roll. So, one of you, this will be fun because I'm pretty sure this is not great for either of you. Um, one of you can roll charm with 2 purple, and if the other one wants to help, you can add a blue die on top of it too.
I'll help you.
Okay, I only have the 2 green.
Yeah, same.
Okay, sure. Yeah, why not? We'll see then who. So 2 purple
And a blue.
And a blue. Okay,
For the help.
cool,
Hey,
Hell yeah.
you get it.
Yeah. Awesome.
So, one that's been quiet kind of looks over at Risha, and there's a moment where they seem to be kind of trying to figure you out. You're a newcomer. Both of you are newcomers. None of you quite fit this town.
I'm gonna get out of this
And
town.
they kind of lean forward and prop an elbow up on the table and put their head in their hand. And they seem to start saying something and they stop themselves. And they start again. What part exactly are you?
Hyper mater reactor of this size.
And I look over at Marcy. And then they look at their racer friend. And she kind of shrugs. And then they look at between you two again. You don't get a part like that easily here. Might be some thrown away in the junk shop. Seen odder things there. Or, if you want to go out into the void, I'm sure there's a ship out there you can just grab whatever you want, but it's in the void. And all of you have been briefed well enough that everybody would know this. The desert. The Abathar is a 100% desert planet. There are a few small bodies of water scattered around, but it's like 0.5% of like the planet's surface is water. And there is no real terrain in the desert. It is just flat white sand as far as you can see, unless you happen to reach one of the small handful of crater cities or one of the very small handful of bodies of water. And it is by far the reason why Abathar is so underpopulated, because the void is deadly.
I mean, figured it was generally our luck, but it was worth a shot. And I know Marcy here enjoyed getting to talk to someone who knows a bit more about ships than I do.
And the racer kind of smiles. It's nice to actually be able to talk shop with somebody. Most of the people around here aren't anywhere able to talk about it. And their companion kind of snorts again. And you see that this is very exasperated by all of this. And looks back at Risha. I gave you the advice. I'm not telling you where we're finding our things, though.
That's fair. Just, to be honest, we're looking for other things anyway. Don't want to step on your toes.
And they kind of nod and lean back again and start going back to their drink. And then they kind of pause, drink halfway to their mouth, and kind of tilt it in your direction and then in Marcy's direction. Want some? And you see that while the racer looks to be drinking some sort of cheap whiskey, the other one is drinking the exact same shit that Kane swallowed. But rather than downing it in a shot, they seem to actually be sipping at it somehow.
Mental.
Absolutely mental.
What a mad lad.
No, I think I'm... To be honest, I'm kind of trying to avoid that stuff lately.
Okay. So, Risha and Marcy have had some interactions. Gal and Iffy want to do anything?
All right, boss,
Al.
where we going? What we doing?
Gal, Gal,
Yeah.
you got your anti-cheating specs on?
Oh, you know it, boss.
Let's go see how much money we can con these folks out of.
All right, let's go sweep them up.
We'll go play some sabacc.
I just want to keep like an ear and an eye in their direction every so often, because I don't want things to go south without me knowing what's going on.
So there were 2 sabacc tables.
Mhm.
I knew I should have grabbed because there's actually fucking sabacc rules. That
There
I
are
could use.
sabacc rules.
But I was like,
Sabacc rules.
let's not do that today. So you guys are just gonna deal with the rollies today because I did not grab those.
Rollies!
There were 2 tables. First has more people at it. They're just straight up seeming to trade credits. And then there was another table that there's a couple of credits on it that seem to be in the ante. But there's also looks like little bits of paper and data pads.
Interesting. Let's go to the datapad table. Why not?
You got
That
it,
seems
boss.
interesting.
So you head over and you see a weekway that seems to be very, very kind of sunburnt and worn down. And they are wearing pretty thick, kind of hide-looking armor of some sort. And across from them, the Ishi... Fuck, I forget the name of it. Has a giant beak. That's what it has. Okay. I forget the name off the top of my head. My bad. And between them, you see probably a good 50, 75 credits in the pool. You see 2 data pads. And then you see what looks like 3 or 4 pieces of paper. One of them is very clearly emblazoned with a symbol that, Iffy, you know to be the mark of Timo.
All right.
And as you approach the table, the Weequay kind of looks at you and his eyes narrow, and you can feel as much as see the head to toe scan that he does on you. And he immediately turns away and just focuses on his hand again, like almost like if he ignores you long enough, he will go away. The other one kind of looks at you curiously and keeps looking, but he doesn't say anything. He doesn't seem to be necessarily inviting, but he's also not chasing you away.
I look at both of them. I gesture for Galatea to pull a seat out. And I just... Fellas, how's it going? How's it going? What's the buy-in? What are the rules? You got any house rules going here? We playing any Narshada Hold'em?
And the one with the beak. Fuck, I need to figure out what this fucking species is, because I can't just keep saying one with the beak. It's gonna piss me off.
Good man.
Find that description to be more useful than a name.
Ishi-tib. Ishi-tib. That's what it is.
Yeah, your itchy tip.
Ishi-tib. So the Ishi-tib kind of tilts his head, and you can kind of feel that, oh, rich girl has sat down. Let me try something. Immediate vibe off of him. He is not that good at hiding his intention. And you kind of hear this like clack of the beak. And he speaks, and it comes through as a voice modulator as he speaks his own language. So you get this very robotic, what are you offering?
I got some creds. I see you trading more than creds here. What else is on the table?
And he looks at it, and he kind of picks up one of the data pads and like hits a button on it so that you can see what's on it. And it looks like it is a ticket for transport off planet. And then he picks up the other one, and it looks like it is a buy-in for something you're not quite sure what. It looks like almost like a percentage of a business. But he turns it off before you can really read through. But you know enough business contracts, it looks like is stock in something or a partial ownership, some way of making some money off of a pre-existing business. He does not show you or go into any detail about what are on the pieces of paper, though. And the Weequay finally kind of like puts his cards down, face down, and leans forward, says, "Tell us how much you got before you even let you in."
Hey now, a lady never reveals her secrets, though you don't look like the type that deals with many ladies, to be fair.
Oh, you got him, boss.
And the one that's been curious, at least thus far, you can kind of hear that robotic little chuckle as kind of this like odd gurgling noise comes out of him actually, but it translates to this chuckle in the fucking voice modulator. And the Weequay glares at you for a moment and then waves a hand and looks at the guy he's playing against and says, "Ignore them, we need to finish."
Well, if you don't want to play with me, I'll just hang around. Really, I'm just after a bit of conversation. What's work like in this town?
And as you say that, the Ishitib looks very clearly annoyed because he was banking on getting Rich Girl to put money in. But he picks up his cards and they continue to play. And the Weequay, even though you are sitting beside him, 100% ignoring your existence. The other one, realizing that he is not going to talk, finally kind of shrugs. Work is work. You get up at dawn, you work all day, you come to the cantina, you drink for a couple hours. Not great. What do you want to know?
Looking to get the lay of the land here. Got some business in town. Wanted to know what the people working here longer thought of things.
What we think of things, we just want everybody else to leave us the fuck alone.
So what, you been here longer than the hut's been here?
And the Weequay kind of snorts and shakes his head at that. Everybody that was here before they were here ain't here no more.
That's spoken like somebody lost some folks in that.
And he doesn't say anything. He just keeps playing.
Well, fellas, clearly, you guys got more interesting things to do than talk with me. But how's this? If you do want to chat a little bit later, you get around on me. Just come find me.
And the Ishitib, hearing the promise of free drinks, eagerly nods, but the Weequay again continues to ignore your existence. What are you doing, Piper?
To the other group.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys migrate to the other table.
Yeah, we'll migrate to the other table. Why not?
And as you reach that table, you see that it is a couple of very clearly miners that, judging by the dust and dirt on their clothing, probably are in the cantina at the end of their workday. They just came straight here. And yes?
Oh, I was gonna say that's miners with an E.
Yes.
Otherwise, they wouldn't be
Okay.
allowed in this bar.
I was about to say, like, wait, do you mean like they're young and also in a mine, or they're just mine people?
They're just
Miners.
Generally, there's not very many children in my games because
Yeah.
if children get hurt or are put in danger, then sometimes it can upset people. So best to avoid. Because we're in a war, y'all. Sometimes the kids get hurt. But there's a couple of miners very clearly in at the end of their day. And across from them, you see a tall, very dark green, almost like olive brown skinned Gamorrean. Just one of the pig people. In some. It looks like it's fairly well maintained, kind of heavy armored clothing. It's not armor. It's probably got some plates tucked in some vital areas and stuff. So it's movable and breathable, but enough to kind of give him a little bit of defense. And you know enough. Well, one or both of you roll me underworld knowledge with 2 purple.
Right. No advantage. Love not succeeding. But hey, it's something.
Hey. So
Gal does have her anti-cheating specs on.
Galatea, you kind of search through the information you downloaded upon Iffy taking this job. And this Gamorrean, even though huts are known to hire Gamorreans and keep them around, he is not wearing any symbol of any of the huts that you are aware of.
This one's a free man, boss. Think we could trust him to give us the lay low of the land without any of that, that bias crap that all you humans got.
Gal, how many times? I ain't human.
I meant you humans, like you peoples in general. Come on, boss. You know you gotta update my grammar.
I ain't lumping you in with the survey drones now, am I?
Well, boss, there was that one.
Oh my god. Did you...
Look,
okay.
We tried out the binocular attachments. They ain't work right. I thought we said we'd never speak of that again.
You're the boss. My bad.
I want to like discreetly shift over here because I want to be within earshot, but I also don't want to just walk over there.
In order to actually hear them, because there is conversations and music and stuff happening, you'd actually have to move into one of the tables to have the potential to hear them. Otherwise, you can just see them.
Okay, well, I'll wave down that bartender again and order a drink. Very distinctly, something less liable to kick my ass this time, please.
And he kind of snorts at you, very clearly amused that this fucking Mary Ellen cannot handle his liquor. But he reaches out and gets what you assume is Abathar beer. Smells like beer, kind of looks like beer. Has a funky taste to it that you're not quite thrilled about. But it's mild alcohol.
It definitely doesn't feel like the paint on the inside of my body is being peeled away.
No.
So, I'll...
It just has this kind of sour note. There's something not great in it. But it's alcohol.
I'll tip like the bottle towards him and just cheers. And I'm gonna get up and... I'll turn around and I'll slide the credits for the drinks across the countertop, however much it costs.
Generally, for like drinks and food, unless we are talking about the entire group, I tend not to keep a whole lot of track of the credits. Simply because this game gets really fucking expensive really fast.
Gotcha.
I'll let y'all know when there's actual credits that are going to be involved in something. I will say, if you ever want to like bribe or anything like that, that will be a credit transaction. But food
Okay.
and drink, I usually kind of let slide.
But yeah, I will. I'll thank him. Slide the payment across the table, and then I'll get up and make my way over. Maybe like here,
So
close, but not. Hopefully not super close.
yeah, so you kind of settle at that table, and you get a little snippets of the hush conversation first between the Ishitib and the Weequay. Where they seem to be arguing about losing money. The Ishitib very much annoyed with the Weequay, and the Weequay just like continually finish the fucking game and trying to just get it moving along. But you can catch about 75% of the conversation that's happening over at the other table where Iffy and Galate are.
Cool. That's good enough for me. I'm just gonna sit there and sip my drink and try to look nondescript, even though I look very descript.
Okay, back to the ladies.
Fellas, how's it going? How's it going?
And the miners, one immediately like smiles and starts laughing, and the other one is like head in hands. And the one that's laughing is like, "How's it going?" He's about to lose everything he's got. The laughing one is very clearly drunk off his ass.
Is he? Well, I wouldn't want to miss that. I will take a seat.
And the Gamorrean kind of looks for a moment, and you get a little bit of that like snort from him, and he says in kind of this broken, garbled, like galactic common. Forget what the actual name of it is. Fuck me.
Basic.
Basic?
Basic. There we go. It is late. It is late for me.
That's a big word for Elmo.
Exactly. This time of night, yes. He's this kind of garbled, broken basic. You playing?
If y'all got room, sure am.
And he looks at the chair you're sitting in, and then looks at the pot. You're sitting, their room. 10 credit.
I will throw 10 credits into the pot.
Okay, and then they deal you in. And again, it was just the poor man's version of Sabak, because I did not grab the Sabak rules. So it's just gonna be rollies for this.
Rollies!
But as they deal you in, do you want to do anything?
Let's see. I think is Piper still AFK?
Pepper. Yes.
All right. Cause like in my head, the plan is have her keep an eye out, and maybe if you can try and get a read on people beforehand, maybe to get a bonus to a later roll, sort of like assessing everybody, bluffs and whatnot, tells.
Got you. Okay. Well, we can take like 5 minutes and see if we can get Piper back. So if anybody needs to go grab a drink or anything, yeah, 5 minutes.
Taking a
Sounds
five.
good. This ambient sound stuff is really great, by the way.
You can thank Joe. Joe introduced me to this.
You're welcome.
especially like the trumpet and whatnot. It's really got me feeling, the mafia vibe.
Yeah, I'm happy that there's this one because the other ones didn't sound right. The other like party things didn't sound right. There's one for more crowded places. Really, really hope that this music is not copyrighted though.
It's more than likely not. That was one of the things Sirenscape did really well. Is these public domain audio effects.
I mean, I imagine at least with this one, it's probably okay because the jazz is really hard to run like programs to find, and so this kind of like smooth jazz bullshit goes under the radar a lot more, even when it is copyrighted. I think because all smooth jazz sounds like all smooth jazz.
We must acquire a taste for freeform jazz.
Those fighting words. My stepdad was here. He's a jazz musician.
And I played jazz into high school, but it all sounds the same unless you got like the one of like 6 or 7 like really popular songs.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I was in the jazz band in high school, but I don't actually like jazz.
You joined the jazz band, so you got out of school.
I'm pretty
So,
sure at this point, like, my stepdad will fly into a blood rage if anybody asks him to play Girl from Ipanema one more fucking time.
Yep, exactly. I hate that song. I fucking hate that song because I played it one too many times in jazz band.
I was in jazz band too, actually.
All jazz band? I wasn't in jazz band, but I've absorbed a lot of jazz over the years.
I was a band geek, not in jazz band, but I was a band geek.
Okay, we gotta go down the list of what instruments people played.
Ah, I fucking knew you were gonna do that.
Impian,
Alright, Z.
what'd you play?
I was a trumpet god.
Oh my god, you're the reason that
Not,
I'm
not,
like deaf.
not that I'm actually that good. I'm just, prima donna.
As all trumpets are.
Yes, we're the voice of God.
Joe.
Are you gonna? I would guess which one I was.
Tuba.
No. Woodwind somewhere.
No,
Saxophone.
tuba was actually closer. I was a baritone.
Baritone.
Oh, close.
They tried to make me play baritone at one point.
It sucked.
I was percussion for the short time I was in band, but I didn't do high school because that meant marching band, and marching band has the summer camp that is like camp of hell, and I'm
Yep.
like, fuck no.
Yep.
I was like a competitive swimmer and diver at that time too. I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that.
I swear, they needed to make marching band count for, like, physical education credits.
Did in
Yeah,
high
what
school.
were you?
Huh?
What was Kira?
Oh, me? I wasn't actually okay. So I can
Oh,
play
you weren't.
guitar, but I wasn't actually in band. My stepfather is a bass player, has been since like the 70s, and one of my partners is a trumpet player.
Gotcha.
Hyper.
I had a full ride scholarship to play as a snare drummer,
Ooh, damn.
Holy shit!
but
Holy shit!
I contracted nerve damage in my hands. So whenever I touch vibrating objects, sharp pain gets sent through my hands. So I had to stop.
Damn.
That's awful. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I really wanted to be percussion, but I could not do percussion.
Look, I couldn't read music. It was one of those things
Yep.
that like I had a really hard time with it, and one of my elementary school teachers made me cry about it. And so I did percussion, and there was one time, I swear to God, I had a bell section, but it was for like some stupid like summer camp thing or something that I didn't want to do at all. I didn't learn the song. It was because I was also on I think I was technically on xylophone or something. One of the ones with the mufflers. No, it wasn't. It was one of the odd named ones. But it had a muffler, so I kept the muffler on the whole time for the performance. And just didn't play. Like pretended.
I'm the exact same way. When I was in elementary school, I was like, these notes look stupid. All I need are left and right. And that's why I chose.
Fucking
It's like,
scared.
yep.
Yeah, I hated it. Now I kind of wish I learned how to play, like, I learned music, and I really wish I had done, like, violin instead or something.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I want to play violin so bad. I don't want to, number one, buy one, and number two, pay for the lessons.
Yeah.
I want to learn violin so bad. I started off as clarinet, and then ended up moving into specialty low reeds. So I would
Oh, a
play
bassoon.
bari sax, I would play bass clarinet and contrabass clarinet. Which, if you've never seen a contrabass clarinet, that's a fucking monster.
Oh, yeah,
When they realized that I hit the growth spurt and all of a sudden my lung capacity was like twice as much as it used to be and I could make the noise come out of the machine, they put me on the big boys. That was really fun, having to sit on a stool in the very back of the band because you had to have something tall enough that you could still play the fucking contrabass.
Yeah, I just liked. The percussion was the cool kids because you had the percussion room in the back.
Yep.
It was great. We were all super chill.
The percussion were the kids that all had sex with everybody. That's what they were.
Every band kid. That's every single band kid.
Look, I didn't.
But it seemed like the percussionists were like at the top of that pyramid. Like everybody. There was so much drama in percussion.
I left before that happened, at least.
So much drama in percussion, especially because the percussion had their own bus because they had to carry all their shit with them.
Yep.
They had their own bus, and so the stories that came off the percussion bus were real special. It's like that type of bullshit with the percussion, and then like the gossipy, bitchy bullshit from the flutes. That's what I remember from high school band.
All of the cheerleaders were flute players. In high school.
I just straight up switched over to sports from band. I was like, if you're gonna make me do this shit, I'm gonna do a sport that I have a little bit more fun doing.
See, I actually really enjoyed marching band. I had a lot of fun with it.
I
Me too.
stayed because it got me into the football games for free.
Oh,
See, that was a negative for me.
yeah, same.
Yeah, Deep South football is a fucking religion.
Well,
Oh,
okay.
no, it is. It absolutely is. I agree with you.
Our school sucked at football, so
My school was state champion like 3 years running and has more state championships than most of the other schools in the state, so it was good football.
yeah, no, our football was a little pathetic because
I
we were
hate
like
sports.
we were a public school, but we were definitely more of the nerd school of the public schools.
It's fun. You get me into a high school sports match, and I turn into one of the rabid fans. You try to get me to watch a professional sports match, other than like professional soccer. That's the only thing I get into. Everything else, I'm like, I fucking hate this. This is some bullshit.
Yep.
So, high school level is like the most interesting to me.
I only do like I can only get into like watching sports if I'm like watching it with people who care. But if I'm like I won't care enough about it on my own. So
Yeah.
like when I was living with people who cared about football, I would have fun watching football games. And when I lived with people who cared about hockey, I had a lot of fun watching hockey games.
That's like
So-
you actually like laugh at the comedy movies if there's other people around to laugh, but then if you're watching the comedy movie by yourself, you're like, eh. Okay.
Yeah. It's just it's like it's definitely I get hyped about it with other people, so
That makes sense. Okay, we've derailed. We've had our random ass conversation in the middle of Star Wars talking about marching band and sports. Is everybody back?
Or do
Yeah.
love
Hey,
that
boss.
cantina band.
Yeah, are we getting ready to fuck these guys up in COD's boss? What are we doing? I
W-
kind of shut down for a second.
We are getting ready to mess with these guys. Can you keep an eye out in case anybody tries anything shifty?
Boss, if you know me, I'm dealing the CODs.
Yeah, sure. I mean, if we can get Gal to deal, then that'd be great, but I feel like they're not going to go for that. Although,
No.
I could attempt a charm, but yeah.
You can
Wait.
attempt, but it'll be very hard.
Were you
That's what
just
I figured.
having that exchange out loud?
Uh, no, I don't think.
No, we using the force, dumbass.
That's not how the Force works.
Uh, but with Gal keeping an eye out for shifty stuff, then I will try to turn my attention to the players as I play, see if I can get a read on them and whatnot, as I play some Sabak.
So, first round will have to be straight rollies.
Sure.
And I mean, if Galatea finds out stuff, she's also gonna have to figure out how to let you know without everyone else knowing. So, think on that paper. So we'll just be rolling straight d20s. You. How do I want to do this? You get bottom 3 times, you're out, and it continues until there's only one person left. Sound good?
All
What
right.
am I rolling?
What'd you say, Piper?
What am I rolling?
You are not rolling anything at the moment. Not for this first one. So, Iffy, you want to roll something?
Sure. Well, you mean the roll 20?
Yeah, just the d20.
There we go. 18.
So, minor 1, minor 2, and Gamorrean. Hey, Gamorrean has 1 down. I need a piece of paper. So as this first hand is dealt, Galatea. No. You can roll a perception with 2 purple.
Alright, perception's the name of my game. What's my perception? I was born to perceive. My creator said, man, you're gonna be the most perceptive person out of there. Yeah, I only got 1 cunning. What's it to you?
You are very aware that the second miner is very, very drunk, and the first miner seems to be on his last legs, like he's lost a couple of hands already. Okay. That's all you get this time.
Okay.
Iffy, next roll.
Yeah, well, let's see what I got. Let's see what I got. Nothing but fire.
Damn, boss, you're really going at it.
Minor 2's down. 1. Make the same perception roll, Galatea.
Yeah, I got 1 cunning. What's it to you?
Okay. It. Even though he has lost a hand, the Gamorrean doesn't seem to be super perturbed. And you know that he has a decent amount of money on the table.
Okay.
And if
Alright,
you-
boss, you got this.
Alright,
I
Iffy.
got a good feeling. I got a good feeling. That's about the best feeling anybody could have.
Iffy. It's down. And... Sleep on.
I jinx myself by saying I had a good feeling about it.
let's just go ahead and do another hand.
Well, boss, last time you had a good feeling about something, we ended up here.
You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong.
Are you questioning the boss?
No, boss. No, I'm just tallying the records up. You know, I
You're
never
not
question the boss.
there, Jedi. Okay, that is actually 2 down on the Gamorrean. Are you just playing, or are you trying to get information as you're going?
I'd like to try and get some information if I can.
Okay, what are you asking?
I want to get a read on the situation in this town, how they feel about the hut, and how they feel about the Haxian brood. I'm more interested in getting a read on the political situation here because I figure the others can deal with the mechanical side of things.
Gotcha. Well, as you kind of start chit-chatting between hands, the miners seem to be very much kind of the same vibe that you got off the other table of just like, we're here, we're working, it's just fucking annoying that there's all this shit going on. We just want to like make enough money to survive and like maybe send some shit to like family off planet. And so it doesn't seem like, at least from these miners, that there's a whole lot of attachment to either group. The Gamorrean's kind of quiet as all of that's going on. And when you kind of turn to question him, he kind of shrugs. It's just like, money is money. Kind of implying he doesn't give a shit as long as he gets paid. Do another hand.
Sure.
And the Gamorrean is out. He, as he shows another hand and he loses, he kind of tosses the cards on the table, and you can see his hand curl into a fist like he's about to hit something. And he pauses and stops himself and just starts muttering in his in Gamorrean, which I don't think you know.
I only speak basic Haven and Mob.
The mob's for me.
And he just like slams back the rest of his drink, but he sits there to at least watch and see what the next couple of hands are going to be. Looks like he's ready to leave though, so he's not going to be there for much longer. Galatea, make a perception roll again.
Oh, you got it. You got it. I'm best at perception. When I was built, my creator was like, "Wow, you got so good perception. We don't need to give you eyes."
Actually, pause. Don't do Yes, do perception. I was gonna decide something, but I decided not to. Yeah, you don't see jack shit. Nothing.
My creator was like,
across.
"You need so much good eyes. You don't even need eyes." So what they do? They took out my eyes. They got balanced me somehow. You know.
What do you mean they took out your eyes? I need your eyes.
Well, boss, then you put it back in. That's how it works.
Oh. Well, you got a point.
Do another hand.
Sure.
Okay. So the very drunk miner is getting close to dropping out. You can see he's starting to sweat a little bit. He's trying very hard to sober up. as he's realizing he's about to lose out on his money, even though he was teasing his friend before. And his friend seems to be having all the luck in the world now that you're here. He has not lost a hand yet. Would you like to ask any specific questions before the next hand?
I'm trying to think. I've asked a bit about the town itself. I don't know. I'm coming up blank.
You should ask about the people that are hosting up the deals, you know? That's what we're here for.
They didn't seem to have very strong opinions either way, but I could ask more pointedly, although I'm not sure.
Oh, well, you're the boss. I'm just a suggestions girl, you know?
Oh,
You could ask about, where we get some good pots around here.
yeah. Let's follow up and ask about the parts. I'll ask them if they know any places where somebody could pick up, specific parts around here.
And they kind of look at each other, and there's kind of a moment where they talk back and forth. Like, well, what about Bob? No, not Bob. Well, Ivan, maybe? No, that he won't have anything. What parts are you needing?
I believe the... Oh, no, you got it, boss. You got it.
No, you got it.
No, you the top dog. You the top dog, you go do the top dog things, you know? I'm just the point.
Part of being the top dog is knowing when to let your other dogs get the bone.
That's why you the boss. That's why you the boss. Yeah, see, my boss here is looking for a hyper matter transporter. Get us out of here. Gotta be real big, like. And I don't think we can just duct tape them together.
And when they hear that, that's very clearly a much more important and a little bit harder to find part. They talk for a moment, and then the more sober one kind of shrugs. I mean, Brood or Timo might have some. I don't know if they're going to be willing to part with them. Maybe some scavengers have brought in something. If they have, they probably would have sold it to one of the junk stores, but that's if you can get the owners of any of the junk stores to actually show you what you want.
Well, there we go. Bada bing.
Bada boom. You know, I can be pretty charming when I want to be.
That's all you, boss.
Another roll.
Why is it that every time I roll, I rolled a 1 last time, and somebody else rolled a 20? What's going on?
I'm starting to think there's some cheating around here. I might have to do some stuff around here because, once I could understand.
And not if we can roll a perception too. 2 purple.
All right, let me see. Where the fuck's my perception?
Galatea continues to not notice jack shit. Iffy. You do get the sense that there might be something off at the table.
Alright. It's time for me to use my super patented stealth skills to try and slip a few cards to my boss. You get it?
We could do that. Could we also use either skullduggery or deception to figure out what's going on in particular?
You haven't noticed the thing you need to notice to use those.
I see.
It's okay, boss. I'm gonna cheat until they cheat harder, and then that's when you catch them.
See, we got ourselves a standoff here.
Because you and Drunk Miner are both one loss away from being out. The other
Alright.
one has not lost a single hand.
That motherfucker.
All right, I say we get this miner out, and then we just call it a draw, so that way you don't lose your money.
Yeah, and we call it a draw. Call it a draw. Our drunken friend here. You don't need to lose no more cash.
So are you just
All
gonna
right.
try another hand, or are you gonna try some bullshit?
I'm gonna try some bullshit.
I feel like we should try some bullshit. Yeah, let's do
try some
that.
bullshit.
Okay.
Using my superior stealthing abilities, I'm going to try and rig the deck so that Galatea here is going to get some better cards.
That is going to take 2 rolls. First, a stealth to see if you're noticed or not, and then a skullduggery to see if you actually are helpful.
Okay.
The first, because you still have this Gamorrean that's hanging around and 2 miners, is going to be a 3 purple on the stealth. And then we'll see how well you...
Is boss helping me out? Being all distracted like?
Yeah, I could do that. I could do either a charm check or a, God, I always call it bluff, but it's not bluff, deception. If that would be helpful.
Pick one. Tell me what you're doing.
Let's go with charm. Let's go with charm.
What are you going to be trying to do?
I'm gonna be talking these fellas up, complimenting Mr. Big Luck over here, asking him if he's the high roller in town and whatnot.
Okay. Give me a charm with 2 purple.
Okay. Charm with 2 purple. Let's try this method here. Reset those dice up top.
There we go. Okay, with 4 successes, they seem to be very distracted. Very pleased to have pretty rich lady complimenting them and talking them up. And with that, you'll get Galatea a stealth roll will bump you down a difficulty, so it'll be 2 purple and a blue.
2 purple and a blue. That's what I like to see. And then it is stealth. So I will now roll stealth.
You start reaching for the deck, and the Gamorrean very clearly sees you and kind of slams his cup down on the table. What are you doing? If
Well, I'm
Iffy
just-
would like to try and do something, it will provide cover for Iffy. However, if you both get caught, there'll be going to be an issue.
All right.
It's my ears perk up at this, and my hand goes to my belt, just waiting.
Just ready to go sabers out versus back like every Jedi ever. All
I'm
right.
just making sure this deck is being shuffled correctly, alright? Lower down the anger, alright?
Marcy and I are still just talking shop with these people, not paying attention.
I'm gonna try and get either if I could get a look at what Mr. Cheatermans is up to. I think that would be a good idea while this is going on. Or I could skullduggery of my own. Do we have a rank in skullduggery?
Decisions.
Deep moral choices. I will try and skullduggery of my own.
Okay, what are you trying to do?
While Gal is drawing attention by looking at the deck, I can probably... I might be able to mess with somebody's hand, maybe, while I'm talking to them. Like one of those taking the watch off your wrist routines.
Okay. So you lean over to one of the miners, kind of ignoring the Gamorrean kind of chewing out Galatea for touching the deck in the middle of the game. And give me a luck roll, give me a d20.
Okay, okay.
I'm indecisive, so there's luck rolls on things.
Fine.
Not great.
Not great, not great.
Skullduggery.
That's like three fucking ones in one game, man. What?
Skullduggery.
Roll them out now.
3 purple, however, you do get a blue because Galatea is distracting.
Okay, 3 purple and a blue. Let me
The
reset
force.
this.
Use the force, Iffy.
I can't do that yet. You gotta give me some time to build up to it. Alright, so 3 purple,
What I mean
one
is
blue, you
use
said?
your destiny
Yeah.
roll. Use
Oh,
the
right, I could upgrade. Yeah, can I upgrade this?
Sure.
Are you going to upgrade?
Hold on. My GM pool is not working. I tell you what, you just get an extra blue.
Alright. Instead of like fully upgrading the roll or just add a blue?
Just add a blue.
Okay.
Because my DM pool is not working on my end for right now.
Sounds good.
You go fight the API script this weekend.
There we go. Look at that. Wait, god damn it. Where's the purples? Sorry.
Roll your 2 purples.
I was like, look at me go.
I mean, that's a lot of successes. Still.
Yeah, we got this.
Yeah, no advantages, but you still got fucking 5 successes. So you manage to kind of shift cards around a little bit, and you kind of subtly slide in some low cards of yours into this hand and take some high cards out of theirs. So, how am I going to do this on rollies?
Rollies
Yeah.
with advantage.
And they get
Yeah.
disadvantage. And they get disadvantage.
Which one do you want? Which one were you messing with?
I was messing with Mr. Winterman's, primarily.
Mr. Winterman's? Okay. So they will have disadvantage, you will have advantage on this next round.
Oh, look at that. Team
So-
play.
Give me 2 d20s.
14.
14. And a 2. And a 14. So Winterman now has 1. Well, you and the other one are still 1 away from losing.
Progress.
So are we going to try some more bullshit? Or are we going
Uh,
to tempt fate and do a rollie straight?
it's tempting, it's tempting. I don't know if we can attempt more bullshit right now. At least more direct bullshit. Can I continue trying to talk this man's up to hopefully distract him more? Like indirect bullshit. You know, like I'm not actually cheating. I'm just distracting him.
What? Why are we doing this again?
It's the, at this point, it's the thrill of the chase. I just want to win.
They just want to
All
win,
right.
and if they win, there is a good little pile of credits that you get. Although I don't know how much if he has left, but
Credits are good. They're never bad.
credits are very good because again, this game gets really fucking expensive.
We're out in the middle of fucking nowhere too, so
Give me, if you're still trying to talk them up, give me a charm with 2 purple. See what that
Okay.
gets you. Probably a lot still.
oh boy,
Oh, a
I
triumph.
got a triumph.
Ooh. You auto pass this one. Got the triumph.
Sounds good.
So, drunk man is out.
Oh no, my friend,
So
my
that
pal.
leaves The other one who's been winning, he is 2 hands away. You are 1 hand away.
This is tense stuff here.
This time you have to do a straight roll.
All right. Can I do a gay roll?
I mean, if you want.
I will roll gaily. I will roll this
Not
one.
really sure how to do that on roll 20.
Hey, now it's literally next round will determine.
Duel of the Fates starts playing in the background.
Okay. Give me a d20.
All right. Okay. Oh god. I'm not gonna look. All right.
Nope.
So close.
You're very close. But
Yo, I
you
put
can
in a good effort.
because you went all the way through and were being good player, you can ask one more question and see what information you get.
All right. Do you folks have anything in mind?
I'm just focused on getting parts, and I'm not sure what else to ask about. You get the.
I was gonna say maybe ask something about like what we came here, but like not as a pit stop, but to discuss business with like Timo, right?
With Timo, and or with the Haxian brood.
So I would ask like if there's I don't know how to word it eloquently, but ask if there's like an easy or if there's a way to get like a weakness of Timo or a way to get on his good side.
You know, that's a great idea. Let's do that.
Like what's a does he like chocolate? Do we bring him chocolate?
I will ask if they know how one might get on Timo's good side then.
So, Timo is the Gamorrean kind of speaks up at this point and gives you the general idea that Timo has really three primary concerns. First, and the most basic and immediate one, getting rid of the Haxian brood. Second is earning a reputation for the hut, and which you've done a little bit of dealing with the hut before. You know that either being extremely vicious or extremely profitable are usually the ways to kind of progress in that culture and society as a cartel leader. And third is he has banked everything he has on making this profitable. So if you can further any of those, Timo would probably like you.
All right.
I know
That sounds pretty good.
Okay, but you do lose your 10 credits.
You know what? That's a small price to pay.
And I know that was a long bout of rollies, but that is where I am tapping out for tonight. So,
Rollies!
That sounds pretty
Rollies!
you guys, now and Abathar, you have bits and pieces of information for various things. And how are we feeling for all the new people to the system?
I have no idea what's going on, but we're moving forward with it. So like, I guess I'll learn. Okay, I say I have no idea what's going on. That sounds okay. I have some idea what's going on. I just, I'm accepting my
You get used to it. You will eventually learn how to work the system.
I'm just accepting all the knowledge you impart on us and not getting ahead of myself.
It's not as bad as I thought once you kind of get the vibe of like, cool, You have green dice, which are baby good dice, and then you have yellow dice, which are big boy good dice, and blue dice, which are the greatest boy good dice. And then the opposite in the other direction, where you have purple, which are bad boy dice, and then red, which are the big bad boy dice, and then black, which are the baddest boyest dice.
I would make a small amendment that the red is the baddest and the yellow is the best because they can have the either the despair or the triumph respectively.
Yeah. So like that's why. So like if you look at the last charm roll that Iffy got, she got a triumph, that kind of like lightsaber looking symbol.
Mm-hmm.
That you can only get on yellow die. And triumphs are like auto successes, auto crits. You roll it in certain situations. You get to like activate special effects and things like that for weapons and pieces of gear. Getting a triumph is like getting a nat 20. On the opposite side, the red die has a despair symbol, and that's only on the red die, and that is a crit failure, and sometimes even worse than a crit failure, depending on why I made you roll the red die. Red die are generally a little bit rarer until you guys start dealing with certain things. But the despair symbol is the worst thing you can get and causes issues.
It brings despair to everyone involved.
Yeah, but it's actually not as bad as I thought. You can see on the character sheet the actual dice. The good ones are pointed up and the bad ones are pointed down, which is pretty neat. So you know that they're good and bad.
I think the thing is, I'm really glad that they, I have both Z and also the Roll20 to tell me what the symbols mean when they roll, because